Styled the queen of pop rap, Doja's style pulls from influences such as 90s hip hop, R&B, disco, and electronic music. She is best known for her versatility, her live performing skills, and her online presence. Her 2018 hit Moo received critical acclaim and became an internet meme. Capitalizing on this, Doja quickly released Hot Pink, an album which she claims now was just a cash grab. Say So was the most successful single of Hot Pink and is a mainstay on her live performances. Doja's third album, Planet Her, was released in 2021 and became one of the top 10 best-selling albums of that year. Kiss Me More, Need to Know, and Woman peaked in the top 10 globally. Doja was committed to a full-on hip-hop sound by the time Scarlet came around in 23. Her most recent album, V, marks a return to her pop roots and also comes with a distant rebrand in what is an 80s sound. Before all that though, there were some messy years. After dropping out of high school in 2012, Doja spent most of her time online, trying to find free beats and samples she could use to rap over. And it worked. In 2012, So High became her first song to stay on her SoundCloud account. It was during this time that Doja met producer Yeti Beats, who allowed her to record demos at his studio. Yeti then passed these tracks and demos on to Kemosabe Records, where she was able to get signed under label executive Dr. Luke, all when she was 17. So High was repackaged, re-recorded, and re-released as a debut single. Doja stopped releasing music for a while after re-signing with OGG, amid what she describes as a creative limbo, which was influenced by her record labels not paying her much attention, as well as the effects of finding herself and smoking too much marijuana. In March of 2018, Doja finally released her debut album Amala. The album spawned two singles, Go to Town and Juicy. Doja has expressed extreme dislike over the album now, and so did the critics at the time. Amala would eventually make it up to somewhere on the charts, but this mainly fueled by the release of Moo. However, props are due, as these songs were written shortly after dropping out of high school and in between couches and life events. Doja released Hot Pink. This was also her breakthrough. It received critical acclaim for its versatility and incorporating various music genres such as hip-hop, pop, funk, and soul. At the time of its release, Hot Pink was seen as controversial because of the recent allegations of Kesha towards Dr. Luke. Then came Planet Her. Released as a concept album, it didn't really give us anything too out there as was implied by the title. Of course it did well, with Woman, Payday, and Kiss Me More stuck in our heads and proving to be viral TikTok dancers. However, this was Doja's first album with noticeable filler tracks, just there to increase the song count. Following Planet Her, Doja released Scarlet in September of 23. At this point, Doja had had enough of having her rap abilities constantly called into question. She set on producing a masculine follow-up to Planet Her. Scarlet featured heavy membrane popping sounds and spawned two singles, Agora Hills and the brilliant Paint the Town Red. Doja embarked on the Scarlet tour and received positive reviews. She had been nominated at the BET Awards for Best Female Hip Hop Artist. This had led many on social media to critique her for being too poppy. She responded to the criticism on social media by saying, "Anyone who says I'm not a rapper is in denial. They don't know what they're talking about." Scarlet takes its inspiration from punk, dark gothic, and experimentalism. The result works. We hear a more established, more confident artist who makes fewer and fewer compromises in regard to her craft. This brings us to Doja's most ambitious project to date, V. V was released in September of 25 and marks a bit of a rebrand for Doja. It is mostly 80s inspired sound, with her signature rap quality, and it includes singing. Doja has stated that she has basically learned how to sing between Scarlet and the V release, with the album receiving great reviews and Doja's switch between rapping and singing being positively noted. The first half of 2025 included Doja teasing V's release with snippets of Jealous Type, a tweet of VVV, and finally in July tweeting that the album was finished. In September of 25, Doja unveiled the album's official cover art, showing herself in a tattered wedding dress, hanging from a yellow parachute caught in a tree, with blue sky in the background. After the album's cover received backlash from fans for not matching the 80s vibe of Jealous Type, with many feeling it had an inconsistent aesthetic, especially the outdoors image compared to the previous show nighttime images and promotional material they had seen that far. However, Doja didn't hesitate to defend her album's artwork, saying, "You can't make me feel bad for a cover that has visceral meaning. The greatest armor is love and integrity. I forgive your harsh criticism, but for me, I won yet again Jealous Type was released as the lead single in August of 25, with many praising Doja's new 80s sound. On the same day, Doja announced her third and biggest world tour to date, Tour Ma Vie, and honestly, it looks like a banger of a show. With this album, Doja has managed to expand her already solid fan base. The album shows off her versatility and level of skill, especially for someone who didn't grow up in the 80s. This is basically what an 80s album would sound like to a 90s kid. And it's pretty dope. The album and Doja's media appearances have been perceived as a bit of a rebrand, an attempt to get away from the public image of online controversies and negative behaviour. This rollout is showing us a more empathetic and focused musician than we previously have seen. Also, with her dress sense and her ability to articulate what she's aiming for, we're seeing a grown woman come into her own on this album. Even as far back as the Scarlet album went, Doja was saying that she wasn't bothered with commercial success and just wanted to make music that truly appeals to her. Having stated dissatisfaction with her previous releases, Hot Pink, Doja is known about being very vocal about always wanting to make music and have that at the centre of what she does. From complaining about having too many interviews and photo shoots and not having enough time spent in the studio, she is one of the few artists who make a conscious effort to remind us that music should be at the centre, while not afraid to open up about her body dysmorphia, ADHD, and how too involved she was for a period of time with social media. Doja has a strong boundary and will not talk about her personal life, and quite frankly, it's refreshing. Here is an intelligent, eloquent chick who says she doesn't like giving interviews, critical of not only herself, but also of the way how the media portrays female rappers. She also doesn't hold back on her genre as a whole, saying that rap music can get very redundant.
I made my points in certain songs, and I got personal, and I spoke about my life.
That's right.
I think that's important in rap. I think that it can get really redundant, rap.
She and her mother moved to an ashram when she was 6 years old and had Alice Coltrane as a swami to teach her. Later on in life, she broke off from this to dive into pop music. Here is an artist who simply refuses to be pigeonholed.
Now, I'm not a very linear person. I tend to go off the rails all the time creatively.
This internal battle seems to have subsided a bit with V. While Scarlet is a great hip-hop album by any standards, there's always an undercurrent of angst and unsettlement, which makes it harder for a casual listener to get into.
I don't need to prove myself.
V enables Doja to calm down, take a breather, and give the listeners something focused. What makes V so much fun to listen to is the constant change between this newly acquired skill of Doja's to sing and her confident rap swagger, which are interchangeably on the whole record. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and a follow, and I'll see you on the next one.